Welcome back to our global iTech solution GITS-Playwright channel on video tutorial 8. Before you started this lecture, I highly encourage you to complete previous lecture related with this course. Let's get started and jump on the topics. So today we'll be discussing about add more test cases on that home page, and we'll be running on the headless mode, and we'll be adding more assertion on it. So as you know, on our previous tutorials, we just completed only form authentications. Today we'll be going through with the internet website again, this website, and on that website we'll be going through all of the elements, right? We'll be asserting all the elements on the home page. So this is, you can call as a home page or you can call as a landing page. Think about it as a landing page. On that landing page, we'll be validating all the links and also all the links text, including how many links. So that's mean there will be a two validation. One validation will be how many links. So let's add the validation, how many links on the landing page, and second validation will be validate links text on the landing page. So to validate, so validate, the first validate links count, right? So these are the validation we'll be performing. Let's put them on the top using the multiple line comments. So the first validation will be how many links. Second validation will be links text on the landing page. So for that, we'll be just deleting everything from here except the first one, the form authentication, to have text form authentication, because this is on the landing page, right? Once you navigate to that URL, that's been the first link, this one. So for this, as you know, this is the CSS we are using in order to find the elements. Let's go and find it. Look for that element. You see, it's 21, right? Number 21. So this is the 21. It's selecting the form authentications. If you hit enter, it will select on the UI. Also, you have to make sure this is a 1 of 1, right? Now, if you change to 1 instead of 21, this is the number 1 element on the page. As you see, it's selecting. Number 2, this is the number 2. This is number 3. This is number 4. That's mean if you change the number, numerical number, it will change. So there is a 44 links here as a 44 elements object. Also including, there is a 2 more object, which is the for me on GitHub. This is also a link. Also bottom part, internal element selenium. This is elemental selenium. This is also as a link. So that's been total 46 links. Now we have to validate that 46 links on this page. So we can do that. I already did that in my in outside of this tutorials. I'm gonna just copy and paste it code and I'll explain it. Once I navigate to that URL, we'll be validating the links count, the number 1 links count. So how do we do that? So we'll be going inside homepage assertion, which is, I will explain it right now. So constant, I used map over here. Constant href. So href is a link, hyper reference. So we are using await page.evaluate. So evaluate, we're trying to evaluating on the entire page how many href is there. Then I returned arrays.form, document.links.map. So it will iterating all the href in arrays, all the links on the documents in an array, and it will find out until it gets end with the href, item.href, right? Then I just look for that href.length. That's it. I just look for href.length. So href are variable and dot length, how many of them. And to equal, I assert 46 on that page. Also, it will print how many of them on that page. So this is all about the coding for the counting assertion. Let's go ahead and validate it is there, it is working or not, right? So let's align the code first. Now, as we said, we'll be running as a headless mode. Add more test case, headless mode. So we'll be adding npm, we'll be just executing npm run test. 3 tests using 2 workers, good. So we'll be running only a single test, form auth spec, right? Let's go ahead and run, and we don't have to open the report every time. We'll be just flag that report. Package.json file, we don't need that at this moment. Okay, so now we'll be running a single test, npm run test, and form auth.spec.js. Perfect. One test running, one worker. So now you see over here there are 46 links on this page, and the assertion is passed, which is expect. If I put over here 45, it should not pass. Let's see. There you go. So test is failed, right? So that's mean instead of 46, if we put 45, it will fail. So second validation. What is our second validation? So instead of 21, we'll be using over here. So 1 to 21. So same thing. We'll be just copy and paste to 44 times. So which is I already have it. I already did that for you. So I'm just copy and paste it from here and explaining that. So for that home page, validated expected link text on the home page, right? So the number 1, you see the number 1. So we are asserting as a soft assertion. We are using soft assertion on this landing page, all the text. Soft assertion meanings, I already explained on the last tutorial. It is if the test case fail, it will keep on continuing executing the rest of the assertion and the test cases. But if you put hard assertion, it will fail and never going to be execute rest of the steps or rest of the test cases. So this is our second validation. So I see the A/B testing, add remove elements. So that's been expect.soft page.locator to have text. So that text on that landing page. Okay, let's run this one also. Should be passing. Good. So the first test, the form auth spec test, there are 46 elements because this is only console.printout, right? That's why it is consoling out. And the expect, it will not giving you any text or anything. It will just pass randomly. But if you change the text or if you change the number, it should fail right away. Let's over here instead of testing, a test in. Let's see it is passing or failing. Just making sure negative test cases also. You see it's stuck, right? And it is failing. It says the A/B testing, it is not there. So it is working as expected. So if I run test again, it should pass. So basically we covered all of them. More assertion. There is a 44 assertion, also the count of the assertion. We can also, instead of map, how about if we use for each? If we use for each, what it does? It's failed. For each will not be working because for each does not have the length, right? So use the maps here. Map, it's easier in JavaScript to using it. I like my map and for each both. Let's go ahead and run it. There you go, it's pass. Okay, so the one more things which is I need to explain. Each validation in manual testing, each validation should have a single test case. Please remember, each validation should have a single test case in manual execution. But when you come to the automation, you can automate 5, 6, 10, whatever the validation comes with the user stories, with the requirement, you can put them together into a single test under the single class. But you can also make them as a separate test inside the class. So we'll talk about in the next lecture how to separate them in individual test cases or independent test cases under the same class. Until then, thank you so much for watching this lecture. Stay tuned for upcoming lecture for the rest of the course. Thank you.